So be a little lenient, give a little grace. You all want grace, so give it to the citizens that take the time to come here and speak. As far as the finance chair, I would like to ask Judy again, and I know this is a broken record, but I'm gonna ask again as the finance chair, how much money of ARPA is left? Can we get it in writing? I still would like to know how much ARPA funds are left to allocate. And then my second question about ARPA funds, I noticed that there was an audit done by the Neighborhood Engagement Hub for the $30,000 or what have you. Have we done audits for other people that have received ARPA money to verify that everyone who received are using those funds appropriately? It would be nice to see the results of all of that money that was given to different organizations come back and say, how did it help for whatever problem they said it would resolve? I ask that each one of you take one 501c3 and ask them to come up and give us some feedback, just so we'll know that money wasn't wasted or used inappropriately. DDA needs some help, Ms. Finance Chair, with the DDA. I came the other day just to drop a bill off and it was after hours. So the city was closed and I just wanted to put it in the mailbox down here. When you look on the City of Flint website, it doesn't say what time you have to stop paying for parking. But even if I was, say, a senior, and I know that a lot of them drop off their bills in the mailbox outside, they shouldn't have to pay $1 for, we should have like some type of grace period out here for parking. And if you can't do that, the city needs to move the mailbox closer to the street so that people can drop off their voter ballots and their bills. I mean, just to pay $1 for you to just come and drop something in the mailbox, that could change somebody's home environment. So any help with that would be appreciated.
The final speaker for this meeting is Rosalind Salvenblatt.
I want to thank you for allowing me to address the committee. I'm here to speak about the proposed ordinance 26006. I'm a member of the Bridge Brigade that has been protesting on the Beach Street I-69 overpass every Friday since February 28th, 2025. We're there for about 2 hours. We leave the area cleaner than we found it and have had good response from the public for being out there. We reviewed MCL section 257.615 and are in compliance with all restrictions in that statute. We do not do anything that resembles any emergency vehicles or presents a distraction to the drivers on the expressway. No flashing lights or reflective materials. We do not promote or denigrate any political candidates. We bring awareness of current events that are happening. Most of the time, the city police drive by and county sheriffs, we've had an increase in that recently, and they give us a thumbs up for expressing our First Amendment rights of freedom of speech. The DOT has stopped a few times and told us we couldn't have things on the bridge. We informed them that we are within our rights under statute MCL section 257.615, and they have left. The MDOT attempted an administrative rule change. They had an open comment period, got thousands of negative responses due to the freedom of speech on public property. There's nothing moving forward with that at this time. I did look yesterday. There is also, I believe, legislation pending at the state level that I've been told will not go through. This ordinance proposal and the other attempts that have been made are nothing more than a blatant attempt to shut down our right to free speech and peaceful protesting. We the people say no to those attempts. We are guaranteed to the right of freedom of speech by a national constitution. Shutting down our right to use public property for freedom of speech is the same as denying us the right of freedom of speech. Do not take away our constitutional rights. Would you like a copy of this?
Give it to the clerk, please, and she'll pass it.
Madam Chair, that was the final speaker.
Thank you. It's now time for council response. Council members may respond once to all public speakers, only after all public speakers have spoken. Individual council members' response shall be limited to 2 minutes. Would anyone like to?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
Thank you. First of all, Happy New Year to everyone, 2026. I am in agreement that hopefully this will be an amazing year for the council in which we can sit here and do the work that we're supposed to do for the residents of the city. I want to address a couple of things that some people said. You made a suggestion that we invite the recipients of the ARPA grants to come and speak to how the spending is going and if they're meeting any milestones or metrics that they have placed in order to get the funding. I will invite some in here, especially some that received money in the 7th ward. I will invite them to come and speak and give an update on what they're doing with their ARPA money and if they're moving forward, if they're meeting any metrics, as well as I can reach out to some who are elsewhere, but I will specifically reach out for 7th ward recipients and then any other 501s that I just happen to catch up to. I will invite them to come speak as well so that they can give a report on what they're doing with their ARPA money. And then you also spoke to parking in front of City Hall. One, it alarms me because you said it was after hours. And so you should not be getting a ticket anyway if it's after hours. But also, if all you did was come up and drop something in the drop box, you have 30-minute free parking in front of City Hall to conduct business. So if you did receive a ticket, we can't get that ticket. You did not? Okay. But just so you know, there is a 30-minute grace period for anyone conducting business inside of City Hall that parks in front of City Hall. So there is a grace period there. And then as far as the woman who came up and she spoke about Resolution 26006, that is in legislative committee. It's not, that resolution is not in this committee, but thank you for providing us with that paper so that we can take a look at it to see a little bit more about what you're talking about before we get to that committee and vote on it. I yield, Madam Chair.
Anyone else?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
I'd like to say Happy New Year to everybody. And thank you guys all for coming out and looking forward to working for you in the new year of 2026.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
thank you. I'm going to say thank you to the 6th Ward residents, Sarah and Michelle, because it is always some active 6th Ward residents that are in here voicing their opinion. And Michelle, there are 2 that are coming. It'll probably in the next month to talk about the Rubens, what they've met, and they've done some great things. And we talk about Mott Park has a Going Green garage where you can utilize a electric lawnmower. You can use blowers, anything lawn, so that we don't have to get all the calls with blight, but cut your grass. They can utilize those lawnmowers for free. And also with Bethel Church, with the great things that are going on there, where you can go, anyone can go there on Monday to get free food, then also get a COVID test, get a flu test, also get cholesterol. So there are many great things that are going. I wanted to make sure with my board money that it would be seen even after if I was not in the 6th ward or in the seat anymore. And that was important to me, to keep it so it's something that's sustainable. Sarah, I agree. And I never told you my grandmother was deaf, and I had to learn how to read lips. And when her phone rang, it was a light, it was so antiquated that would just go off in her home. And if they decide right now that they want to come to a meeting, they should be able to come to a meeting and have someone in a language that they should be able to understand and communicate with. And it is dragging on. We just got back, it needs to be done. Language, we have language barriers, and it should not be one for our deaf community. We have the largest Michigan School of the Deaf, less than, 5 miles from here, and we can't get someone here to be an interpreter. It's inexcusable at this point. We find money for everything else, we should find money for that.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yes,
Go ahead.
first I would like to say Happy New Year to you all. And I would like to thank the residents who are here. Thank you for being engaged in the process. I'm really hoping that for this year, 2026, that we can get more residents to come down and be engaged. Also, I would like to say to Ms. Young, I will definitely invite some of the individuals or organizations that received ARPA money, particularly those who received ARPA money in reference to my $30,000 ward initiative. That's a good idea to have them come and speak about what it was that they, did and the outcomes of it. And Miss Sarah, thank you. Thank you for coming and speaking. Actually, if you think about it, this should have been done years ago. It should have been done years ago. And I'm when you came to us the first time, I was like, what, she's right. So thank you for always coming to the podium and pressing the issue. And so hopefully we can get something done and put some money in the budget to make sure that it can continue on. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else? Seeing none, I will take a few minutes. You know that I know American Sign Language and that I know the syntax is very much different. And not all deaf individuals can read. Their reading skills, I have a tax client whose reading skills and understanding, even with an interpreter present, is very difficult. So I am behind getting a sign language interpreter. It is working on the funding, and I took the holiday off, so that will be started again this probably next week. And also the ARPA, tracking the ARPA dollars is never my job. It is the administration's job. If you want to know how much money is left in the ARPA, you may FOIA that information, just like I would have to. I kept track of the ARPA money for the council reasons, for community grants. I stopped doing that. So you may go ahead and FOIA that information. And now it is time for a consent agenda. Is there any?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda, to send the consent agenda to council.
There's a motion to send the consent agenda to the council by the councilwoman in the 7th Ward. Is there support? Is there any separations? All right, it's totally separated. Our one and only resolution is 260000, the SNA Software Upgrade Edition of Business Licensing and Special Assessments Application.
Chair,
Go ahead.
motion to send to council.
Support.
Motion by the councilman in the 8th Ward, supported by the councilwoman in the 7th Ward, to send to council. Is there any
Madam Chair,
discussion? Go ahead.
Through you to Mr. Moore.
Mr. Moore?
Mr. Moore, since this was not a budgeted expense, can you tell us what the benefit to the city residents is going to be?
This is a major upgrade to the software. It is something that, go back a step. reason why it wasn't budgeted is the capital item is in an internal service fund, which means that it won't show up in the revenue and expense of that fund.
Well, it wasn't budgeted because we adopted last year's budget, so this one couldn't have been budgeted.
Right.
So, just broadly speaking, can you tell how spending $600,000 is going to improve the system and how it's going to improve the interaction with?
Absolutely.
That's what my question is.
The first item I'll talk to is the security of the system. Right now, everything is, the version we have is housed in this building, and we are responsible for making sure that the hackers can't access it. With this upgrade, it'll be moved to the cloud. The vendor will be responsible for maintaining security. They have much better security than we could ever hope to have. So our data will be a lot more secure. Second, the program is designed the way the business world works today. Right now, if you try to export many of the reports to Excel, there's a lot of work to make it useful. Sometimes an account number could have 3 lines, and you'll have 30,000 lines that you have to deal with. With this program, with the upgrade, it'll all be in one line. You won't have to spend hours trying to manipulate the data so that you can use Excel to access it. It's going to make it so that we've always had the most recent update on everybody's computer as soon as they log on. Right now, every week, we have to update our programs. And like I have 7 programs that I use, so I have to make sure those 7 are updated every time. I have 2 computers, so that's twice as many. It takes me roughly an hour a week to upgrade everything. That will be gone. I won't have to worry about that. It's going to provide us with some software. Like one of the big things is being able to send work orders to our water service center and have it sent to the field on their iPad so they can address it immediately. If you want to turn somebody's water on, we can send a message saying, turn on this person's water. They'll get it, and they can do it that afternoon. They don't have to come to City Hall to get the work order.
So, just to, because my time is running out, how will this save the city money in the long run? Because I don't think we're cutting any labor downstairs as far as, like, it may be more efficient, but we're just adding an expense, we're not cutting any labor. So tell me how this is going to add a cost benefit in the long run.
Some of the other items, we won't be storing we won't have to maintain the servers in-house. The vendor's going to be.
So how is this going to save the city money?
That will save us money because we won't have to maintain those servers in-house. There's a lot of these items are labor-saving devices that we will save. The other thing you have to remember is that many of the items that we're talking about, these are all going to be required at some point. The vendor is going to insist that everybody update their software at some point.
And what is the yearly, because now we're going from something that we purchased, right? Now we're going to a subscription base that's going to cost us money every year till the end of time, right? So what is that yearly expense?
Jeff,
currently, for the on-prem, it's about $128,000 a year. And this one with the two systems will be around $342,000 a year.
Anyone else?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
thank you. Through you to the speakers. Just for clarification, currently, annually, we're about 100, you say 28?
128,000.
Okay, and in addition to the 600,000 to, I guess, purchase the license or what have you, in addition to that, approximately $300,000 a year?
Yes, but that 600, that first year's 348,000 in So then after that installation, it'll be 348 a year.
Okay. And we would get invoiced for that 348 after the first year.
Yes, that's the 600 would cover the first year as well as installation.
Okay. Will this reduce any expenses like insurances or policies that we might otherwise now be expending dollars for?
I'm not sure, it'll be, it certainly is going to be a labor saving device. The fact that we don't have to spend time updating our computers every week is going to save everybody in the city that uses it time. The fact that we can, one of the things that we'll be able to do is use their program for credit card processing. That will make it much, much simpler for us to reconcile our bank statements every month. We'll save hours every month by using their program as opposed to using a third party.
Okay, but to your knowledge and understanding, it's not gonna eliminate the need for us to carry any insurances that we might otherwise be paying now to cover any kind of breaches.
I don't think, right now, we are uninsured for cyber insurance.
We're currently uninsured?
That's correct.
Okay.
I think this will go a long ways towards making it so that we're more insurable.
Okay.
And I think it's also going to greatly enhance the security of our system. Right now, it's very difficult for, we have to spend a lot of staff time, we got to spend a lot of time worrying about trying to keep our data secure every single day. With this, the vendor's going to take that responsibility.
Okay, that I believe I understand. I apologize, I don't know your name, but you were nodding as it related to like some of the time.
Yeah, definitely.
Is there anything quantifiable that you can add to this?
Well, I know that him and I both have like large reports that we run. I have reports that take 2 to 4 hours. And so when I'm running them in my system currently, I'm dead in the water to do anything. With this new program, it actually runs them behind the scenes so I can continue working. And his is the same thing with Amanda. So they run them behind the scenes so we can continue working and those reports will pop up when they're done instead of running where we don't have access to our computers.
I'm sorry, can I ask you to share your name and your department?
I'm Stacy Bassey, I'm the assessor.
Okay, thank you.
But some of the reports is a very real problem. Some of the reports that Amanda and I run, we run at night because the rest of the users complain about how long and how much it slows the system down. But by being able to do it at night, it's not, during the daytime, it's going to save us time. It's not going to impact any of the other users from me.
And that is gonna be attributed directly to purchasing, to having this put in the cloud or processing?
Correct.
It's the way they process is a completely different thing. They have a completely separate server for processing the reports, so it's not going to impact somebody that's trying to enter in a cash receipt.
And then, I guess, one other thing that's not jumping out at me, was there a bid process that was executed, or was this a one source type thing?
I know this one. So this is a sole source because of me. Currently, the state tax commission only has one company that is certified for assessing departments throughout the state to use, and that is BSNA. We have CAMA standards, which is computerized appraisal math standards.
I'm gonna cut you off. We'll get back to you.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead. Yep, thank you. That's what I was gonna do.
So it's our CAMA standards, which we have a committee that I am on. So we have standards that we have to meet with our computerized systems. So throughout the state, we are all doing the same thing and have the same coding. And BSNA is currently the only system that has been certified through the state, and it will be a while before we have other options through other companies.
Okay, how, Stacy, I didn't realize your name wasn't Cake anymore.
No, it's not.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. So, when was the last time the system, because it sounds antiquated?
We switched to .NET. I've been here, it'll be 9 years on Friday, and we changed back when I was at Burton, so probably 15 years ago was when we went to .NET. So it is time for a change. It is time to bring that system up to date.
It's way past time.
Yeah.
Because software can be easily be outdated. I mean, that's a long time.
Right, and I have been to other, since this came out, I've been to a few other units and have looked at the program, and it definitely has some perks. There's still, as always, some glitches, but there's definitely, like I said, with those reports running behind, particularly for me, I have 57,000 parcels. When I say it takes me hours to run reports, and this will save me a lot of time. And also my employees' time, because when I'm running something, they are come into my office and say, Stacey, are you running a long report? I'm like, yeah, sorry. Because it literally will take.
It goes on the system.
Yeah, it pulls out the system. It could literally take them a good minute to even change to a different parcel. So this will speed up everybody's work time within the network.
So with the cyber, we have cyber attack, and so we don't have cyber insurance. This system, so will this make us more appealing to be able to obtain insurance?
I would
Or
think
is it
so.
recommended by the insurance companies?
It's something that, after the cyber attack, we have moved some applications to the cloud, like the police applications have been moved to the cloud because it's more secure.
Okay.
We did that last year, and this is gonna make it for all the other main applications will be moved to the cloud because it's gonna be safer.
Okay, and so, well, I mean, if the system, that's like,
It's,
that's almost like floppy disk old. It was running.
You're 100% right about that.
Yeah.
And the setup for the system, which was done, I don't know, 10, 15 years back, some of the decisions made back then are haunting us today. We'll be able to correct those problems and to make our system much more efficient.
Okay, and so, Stacey, real quick, so when you say you run it, when you run the reports, will it lessen the amount of people, or like when you're doing reports that you have to separate or give it would reduce the number of people having to run the reports, or I mean, what is the savings?
Time.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be able to still work.
Not monetary.
Not monetary, no. We'll be able to, we'll get more work done.
Okay.
There won't be that lag. So,
Okay.
yeah, we'll be able to process more work done, and faster.
Why did this, I mean, with the system being that old, why wasn't ever?
Well, what has happened, BSNA is expanding, and they partnered with a new company that's coming in to help them grow. So with this company coming in, they were able to help them expand. So it's kind of like you ever seen like Shark Tank when they go in and have that bigger company come in to take them to where they need to go next. So that's what it is.
And
That's a
we've
good
been talking
analogy.
internally, the program's been available for maybe 3 years, and we've been talking probably 2.5 years about, because we knew at some point we were going to have to make a change.
So the yearly updates, I mean, the yearly fee, does that include their updates? Because they're gonna be
Yes.
updating.
Yes.
Okay, and so what's that total, Jeff, 342? Yeah, okay, and so, okay,
And probably more than likely the cost will go up as it gets out there too.
I don't need nothing to mention that. It's in there, I think it's in the contract part of it, but it's a yearly increase of 5% or CPI, whichever is greater.
Okay.
They go off the CPI or 5%, so there is a yearly increase.
Anyone else? Anyone else in the first round? Anyone else, anyone in the second round? Go ahead.
So, I can't remember, somebody mentioned credit card fees. Will the credit card fee for the residents change at all? Will it be decreasing, increasing?
I'm not sure about I think the fees are gonna be about the same, it's just that it's gonna make it a lot easier for staff to, track the fees and, not track the fees, but track the payments that people make with credit cards. If people pay online right now, there are a lot of customers that pay online.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll make it much more efficient, because
But no offense, Mr. Moore, people don't care if it's more efficient for us. If it's cost them 2 or 3 more %, then that's when we're gonna
No,
get
it's
it.
not, it's gonna be virtually the same.
Virtually the same or the same?
Uh,
I wanna say, I believe talking to Amanda, it's gonna be the same.
I don't think.
Can you find that out
Yeah,
before Monday?
we can find out.
Can you find out for me before Monday?
Right.
And then, do we know any other municipalities as large as ours that are on the cloud system?
No, there is not any yet, we'll be the largest unit.
That scares me.
There is one that's 37,000 parcels that is on there. I know that is.
But do they run water and?
Yes,
Our cities like, I believe Saginaw moved up.
have they moved out? I haven't checked with them.
But there are.
I don't like us being the guinea pigs, and then we come to find out that,
I am comfortable with it, and I would be moving if I was not comfortable with it. Because I'm very protective of my role.
I get that, but no offense to you, we've heard that from every CFO, or, I know you haven't changed, so we've been here, I think Mr. Moore has been our 3rd or 4th CFO that have led us down astray many a time because they said they were comfortable with it. So, no offense, but I just, it scares me a little bit that we are going to go into a system that we're gonna be the largest and potentially the guinea pigs, and the residents and potentially your staff is going to feel the wrath of this if it isn't
I'll
good.
get you a list of some of the larger customers that have changed over. We can get that one.
Can you get that to me as soon as possible? Because I will seriously call them.
No, yeah, we can do that.
Because this system and the way people pay their bills and look at stuff online with PSA, like, a lot of people use that in the community to pay their water bill, pay their tax bill, or.
But the problem with that, we are one of the largest communities within the state, so it's hard to get something comparable to us.
Well, we're not one of the largest. I mean,
We are.
we're in the top 10, but Grand Rapids is bigger, and there's a lot of them that are this.
Very few larger than us.
Yeah, well, let me get you the list, and I can also get you a list of communities outside the state of Michigan.
And credit card fees as well, please.
Thank you. Anyone else in the second round? Anyone else in the second
Madam
round?
Chair.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I do want to say you are correct. I believe Flint is the 7th largest city in the state of Michigan. And we have a lot of cities, villages, townships, and a lot more smaller. Like even in Genesee County, the reason we're the county seat is because the closest municipality to us has about 35,000 people less than us. So you are correct with your numbers of how it would be harder, especially around us, to find someone comparable as far as population. I know that I've heard before about BSNA and how if certain people are running reports, that it does completely knock out virtually the rest of your workday or any time that you have to do it, and how sometimes it has to be handled after hours. So I am excited to see that we'll have something that you will be able to continue being productive in your roles and do other things while this runs in the background. I yield, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Anyone else in the second round? I'm going to take a few seconds just to talk about the licensing issue. As we all know, here on council, we have a major problem keeping track of businesses who are licensed to do business within the city. Mr. Moore, can you address how this will improve that?
This will allow us to keep track of them on our computer system, allow us to it'll have a complete database for every business that we have in the city. It'll interface with the other applications we have, so we can make sure that there's a way that we can check, double check, find out where businesses are located. It'll make it much easier for the department to send letters, to send in bills, to interface with all of the businesses in the city. Right now, we just don't have a good way of doing that.
Thank you
Very
very
difficult for us to do a lot of that.
Thank you very much. Okay, it's now time for the vote to send 260000 to council.
Mr. Alamin?
Yes.
Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashad?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer? Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Vote is 9 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 9 yes, 0 no. That will be sent to council. We now have a special order as requested by Councilwoman Burns regarding an update on the city's ACO projects. Ms. Burns, I'll go ahead and let you start.
Thank you. You, Madam Chair,
Excuse me, we're going to do this in 15 minutes with additional time.
you, Madam Chair, to Scott Dungy and Mr. Edwards. Yeah. My reasoning for asking, requesting the special order, I wanted to know we have got, any loans that we have that are for projects coming out, how are we going to fund the loans? Where are we at with the spreadsheets on our projects and what percentage? And to give an update, because so we will know like where we're at and possible fund. I believe we've got something coming in for, I think it's 3 revolving loans. And I thought I had requested to have, we have a new, is he interim DPW? Marquand Sohaladi?
No, Mr. Marwan is permanent.
Oh, okay. So is he our DPW director?
Yeah.
He's deputy. So does he come to meetings?
He can come to a meeting. I just learned, since I've been sitting in this meeting, that yes, I asked Mr. Dungy here to come to this meeting. I didn't know you wanted him and Yolanda to attend. So.
Yeah, I wanted him here because if I know, Ms. Edwards, that you are in the absence of the DPW director, you are in that acting role, but the interim should be here to answer these questions. And I did want him to be here because I don't even know who he is, what he looked like. I mean, I don't, and I would like to, put eyes on him because these are some important projects. And I don't know, do we have an updated spreadsheet?
Yes, I do. I can get you that tomorrow. I'll get that to Mr. Edwards and he'll get that to you tomorrow.
Could you get that for me tomorrow? I don't know if we can, I would like to, I've got questions for him. Because I'm used to, we go back to, he used to be the DPW. No offense to both of you, Mr. Dungy, but that's his job. As interim, he is basically leading that department right now. What licensings does he hold?
S4.
How many licenses are required? You hold one too, though, don't you?
Yes, I have a D1,
And Jeanette Best
S4, and
holds,
an F3.
and Jeanette Best holds,
The top wastewater license.
and she holds wastewater. And he holds a
S4.
S4. Okay. I would like him to come because one thing with our water and our infrastructure, residents have got questions, and I think that we need to be transparent. People have very real trust issues with the water and the infrastructure. And as spring comes and they start working on these streets, they start rattling the pipes, people are going to see some rust in their water again or sediment. That just seems to happen. And where are we at also on the service line replacements? What percentage are we at? I've seen them working.
Yeah, they're the state, took over that project. So
yes.
Right now they're organizing themselves. We were in the last 1 percentile of that project. So the state is conferring right now with the vendor, and they're preparing and getting themselves together to gear up in the spring. So-
And, right, and so with them finishing up that project, we don't know the numbers have been off. And have we did any restoration yet?
They were doing some of that, toward the end of that season. Of course, when the season
Right,
ends, they
you
no
have
longer,
to end.
yeah, they no longer can do that work.
And so does the state give reports to let us know where we're at in that?
Oh yeah, we're still continuing. We have a comprehensive meeting. It has been going on every Wednesday morning, and that involves all the state sources. That is Eagle, Treasury, and all the Flint sources, and all the engineering folk, and all the vendors. Everybody's on this call. It's like 20-something people on this call.
So if they're giving you the reports, could you share those with us, Mr. Evers, so that we know where they're at? I know they got into a portion of my ward, which the homes are literally over 100 years old. Joliet, those streets over there where they were not, they were like some of the last to be done. And I know some residents were not turning back in, and some were. But I know Michelle Young is here. It took forever to get hers, and she's on the main street, Sunset. And so if we could get a report of like where they're at with restoration and also with service line replacement. And then also, if we can I just want like some transparency. When people ask, that's just sharing of information that the state has. But I would like and pronounce his last name for me. Is it Marquand?
Yeah, we just call him Marwan.
Marwan.
It would be better if he says it to you, but yeah, everybody just refers to him as.
Okay, because I know he lives in Windsor, Canada. And so, and the question, can he be licensed in the state, in the United States, with being a Canadian?
He was working right out of Detroit.
He was working,
He's
it's
been
just
working
across the
Detroit for
bridge,
years. Yeah, he's been working in Detroit for years.
Well, he's only 25, so it couldn't be that, 26.
It's a few years.
Yeah, he's young, so let's not give it that decade or so now. So I would like to meet him, and he has a personal service contract, because he never came through us.
No, he's not an appointee. No, he's not an appointee.
He's not an appointee because he's a deputy.
It was a competitive job.
Oh, competitive job.
It was posted in a competitive job. There were like several candidates.
Okay, and so he worked at Detroit for
Yes.
how many? 25, 26, could have been that long.
Well, I'll let him tell you how long.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I would just like to speak with him, just to, I have some questions from him. And if you could share that report, please, with the state where they're at. And then you said you're gonna get the new updated one?
Yes, I can have that to Mr. Edwards first thing in the morning.
All right, thank you. I yield the floor.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Is there anyone else who'd like to address this special order? I'll close out the special order and request a motion for adjournment.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
I just need to correct something really quickly before we adjourn, if I may.
Sure.
Thank you. I gave out some numbers. I wanted to make sure I give accurate numbers. So the state of Michigan's population is 10.14 million. We were number 7. We're number 16 now, but I think they have to adjust the fact that more people have moved in. We're still number 16, but I'm going to tell you, 16 out of 1,773, we're still very much top in this city. In this state. So again, state of Michigan population, 10.14 million. City, villages, townships, all of that, we're number 16 out of 1,773. So still very necessary and hard to compare. Thank you.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. It's been moved by this councilman in the 8th ward and supported by the councilwoman in the 7th ward. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat? Yes. Mr. Pfeiffer? Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Vote is 9 yes, 0 no.
Vote is 9 yes, 0 no. We are adjourned at 6 o'clock.
some greens. You need to come over and have some greens.
Some greens? Did y'all get somebody? Y'all did? Y'all turn in on y'all's paperwork? Cause you know what? Did you call? Yeah, call. Because from what I understand, they've started sending out.
Yeah, so she said.
Yeah, I don't know. They may be. No, they may be. But call, I would say call. Yeah. Because what I understand, they started giving out checks. And I got tired, I opted out. I was like, well, we were, at first we were asking that 200 people opt out so that we can take it to trial. I feel like we should have gone to trial because we would have gotten more money as a city. That's why I wanted it to go to trial. I think we, as a city, we should never settle. I don't like settle. Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. I can watch you. Yeah, you was done right now, but I can't do something. Okay, I sure will. But you know, that water had so many contaminants and stuff. And I've been watching cancer. Oh my God. So many people has the cancer in this city. Something has to be. Oh, no, thank you very much.
If all council members could return to their seats so that we can start the next meeting. If all council members could return to their seats so that we can start our legislative committee meeting. The time is now 6:06 p.m. on Wednesday, January 7th, 2026. I hereby call this legislative committee meeting to order. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Al-Alami?
Present.
Dr. Lewis? Present. Ms. Johnson? Ms. Priestley? Present. Ms. Winfrey Carter? Ms. Burns? Present. Ms. Chad?
Present.
Mr. Pfeiffer? Mr. Jarrett?
Present.
You have 7 members present.
We have 7 members present. It is now time for the reading of the disorderly persons city code subsection. Any person that persists in disrupting this meeting will be in violation of Flint City Code section 31-10, disorderly conduct, assault and battery, and disorderly persons, and will be subject to arrest for a misdemeanor. Any person who prevents the peaceful and orderly conduct of any meeting will be given 1 warning. If they persist in disrupting the meeting, that individual will be subject to arrest. Violators will be removed from the meetings. Are there any requests for agenda changes and/or additions at this time? Seeing as how there are no requests for agenda changes and/or additions, it is now time for public comment. Members of the public who wish to address the city council or its committees must register before the meeting begins. A box was placed at the entrance of the city council chambers for collection of registrations. No additional speakers or slips will be accepted after the meeting begins. Members of the public shall have no more than 3 minutes per speaker during public comment, with only 1 speaking opportunity per speaker. Before we call on the first speaker, I would like to acknowledge that all 9 members are in their chair, Madam Clerk. And first public speaker.
First speaker is James Moore.
James Moore, 2nd Ward, and I'm missing R.A.L. and used to him being first. I just hope that this year we can get some things done. We can be positive, give some hope. You know, we can, we don't do nothing else. We can at least clean up the city a little bit and do something about the potholes maybe. But everybody know what's up. Let's just go to work and get it done. Happy New Year's.
Thank you. Next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
Next speaker is Sarah Houston.
Sarah Houston, 6th Ward. I just wanted to thank Councilwoman Burns, Carter, Priestley, Johnson, all you guys for acknowledging me and realizing that the need is here. I'm glad to know that I have your support. I'm disappointed that every time I address Ms. Johnson, she conveniently leaves when it's time for public comment. I would just like to know that you hear and actually care what is being said. That would be really, really nice, and I think that the residents would probably like to hear it too. I also wonder if you know, or if you're aware that you may be cloned online, because I have seen some horrible statements coming from Facebook that's supposed to be you, but I cannot believe that it is you. So you might want to check into that, just a FYI, seriously, so you know, check that out. I'm trying to be nice. But anyway, I am looking forward to seeing change being made here and access being open and the deaf community feeling like they belong, and hopefully sooner rather than later. Thank you.
Thank you. Next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
Next speaker is M. Young.
Good evening again. I'm going to to say some things that I want to make sure people take their feelings out of it, and we're just gonna state some facts. I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings, I'm not calling anyone in particular out. But Madam Chair, we have a systematic problem that a lot of the citizens are talking about in the city of Flint about elections, residency, and we need improvement. Some of the things are things that would be in the city clerk's office that needs to be addressed. So number one, the city portal. Previously, we have a history of the city portal information being wrong, telling you you were in the wrong ward. I would like to have some accountability and know that 2026 election, that problem will be closed and we can be proud of our city portal and how our election is handled. That is effective and truthful. Another thing that happened during the last election, maybe not the last one, but the last few, there were things that were sent out that shouldn't have been sent to everyone. And I'm not sure if that has to do with the portal information being wrong, but that has to also be corrected. We deserve professionalism from this group. I think the people in the city of Flint get paid a nice amount of money to get this job done, and they have a nice amount of people that work for them in the city. This should not happen again. We should be able to be the #1 city because we've had the problem. We've had the time to get it fixed. We just need somebody to be accountable for fixing it. Now, I'm gonna also address the residency problem. A fact is, we have seen some judgmental paperwork signed with an address that is not in the ward that they represent. That is a fact. It's not a feeling, it's a fact. And it's been multiple forms signed by a judge. I would say that's legal. I would ask one of you to ask the attorney if it's legal. We have to address that. It's a stain. Do any of you want to be known as someone that is not addressing the issue? That you are not brave enough to speak up on your residents' behalf? Be brave, speak up. Hold people accountable. Do the work, please.
Thank you. Next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
The final speaker for this meeting is Rosalind Salvenblatt.
My name is Rosalind Salvenblatt, and I want to apologize for reading this at the wrong meeting first. Thank you for allowing me to address the committee. I'm here to speak on the proposed ordinance 260006. I'm a member of the Bridge Brigade that's been protesting on Beach Street I-69 overpass every Friday since February 28th of 25. We're there for about 2 hours, leave the area cleaner than we found it, and have had good response from the public for being out there. We reviewed MCL section 257.615 and are in compliance with all restrictions in that statute. We do not do anything that resembles any emergency vehicles or presents a distraction to the drivers on the expressway. No flashing lights or reflective materials. We do not promote or denigrate any political candidates. We bring awareness of current events that are happening. Most city police and county sheriffs that drive by give us a thumbs up for expressing our First Amendment right of freedom to speech. The DOT has stopped a few times and told us we couldn't have things on the bridge. We informed them we are within our rights under statute MCL section 257.615, and they have left. The MDOT attempted an administrative rule change. During the open comment period, they got thousands of negative replies due to freedom of speech on public highways. There's nothing moving forward with that at this time that I was able to find out when I searched yesterday. I believe there's also legislation pending at the state level that I've been told won't go through. This ordinance proposal and the other attempts that have been made are nothing more than a blatant attempt to shut down our right to freedom of speech and peaceful protesting. We the people say no to those attempts. We are guaranteed to the right of freedom of speech by our national constitution. Shutting down our right to use public property for freedom of speech is the same as denying us the right of freedom of speech. Do not take away our constitutional rights. And I spoke with the city clerk between the two meetings, and she said that your intention was for candidate political signs. And if that's the case and you want to address that in the amendment, so, or the ordinance, so that it specifies political candidates, then I don't see any big problems with that. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, you said that was the final public speaker?
That's correct.
All right, seeing as how that was the final public speaker, public comment is now closed. It is time to move on to council response. Council members may respond once to all public speakers. Only after all public speakers have spoken, an individual council member's response shall be limited to 2 minutes. Is there anyone who would like to speak during council response? Seeing as how there's no one who would like to speak during council response, I will go ahead and take some very brief time. I'm going to address the city portal concern. What we will do is we will get with the city clerk, have a discussion with her about that and how that works, because I'm not completely sure if she's even in charge of the information that goes on there. I'm not sure how that works, but I will get with her. And we should be able to have some sort of answer for you by Monday for special affairs of who's even in charge of the city portal. And then as far as Reso 26006, I know you said that, Ms. Rosalind, I know you said that you spoke with the city clerk just now, but I think that my colleagues and I all want to separate it just so we can get some clarification on it. We do thank you for coming to speak to us about this and drawing this to our attention. That closes out my portion of council comment. It is now time for consent agenda. I will entertain a motion from the body. There's complete separation, so we will move on. A complete separation ordered by the councilman in the 8th Ward. I will now move on to the first resolution, which is 250437-T, which is the Code Amendment Ordinance Chapter 50 Zoning Map. What is the pleasure of the body? There has been a motion to send to council by the councilman in the 8th Ward. Is there support? Support. Supported by the councilwoman in the 4th Ward. Is there discussion?
Yeah.
Councilwoman, okay, councilman in the 8th Ward.
Is there anybody from the administration to speak on this?
I'm sorry, we are in legislative right now, and we are on resolution 250437. Is there someone from the administration who can speak to this resolution? All right, we do not have anyone who can, who can speak to this resolution. Councilman, you have the floor.
Motion to keep in legislative.
There is a motion to have this remain in legislative until someone from the administration who can speak to this can join us. Is there support? Supported by the councilman in the 1st Ward. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Alamin?
Yes.
Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
The vote is 9 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 9 yes, 0 no. Resolution 250437-T, which is the Code Amendment Ordinance Chapter 50 Zoning Map, will stay in legislative committee until someone from the administration can join us. Moving on to Resolution 260001, which is the Code Amendment Ordinance Chapter 46 Wastewater Disposal Regulations. Is there some, what is the pleasure of the body?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the 4th Ward.
Send to council.
There has been a motion to send to council. Is there support? Supported by the councilman in the 1st Ward. Is there discussion? Councilman in the 8th Ward, you have the floor.
Is there someone from the administration to speak on this?
Is there someone from the administration who can speak on this? I believe Ms. Best will be joining us. Thank you very much.
Madam Chair,
Madam Clerk.
as Ms. Best walks up, I just want to let the public know that we normally have copies of the ordinances available in the back. This one is 60 pages long, so if anyone does want a copy, I have several available up here. We didn't put them in the back just because the entire ordinance was 60 pages.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Council, you can start assigning. Councilman, you have the floor.
Ms. Bess, I'm gonna be honest with you, I have not read this whole entire book. Can you give us a few highlights and why this is before us? Why does this ordinance need to be adopted?
The sewer use ordinance is a part of the city ordinances currently, and we were required by Eagle to amend it and update it so that we were in compliance with the state law. So it's a requirement of our NPDES permit, and we needed to add the PFAS. We need to add a local limit in our ordinance because they just couldn't eliminate our NPDES permit.
Are we testing PFAS in wastewater?
Yes.
Okay.
We actually have a limit, and what they gave us is the drinking water standard for our discharge limit, which doesn't give us a lot of wiggle room, but we generally meet it. I think we've exceeded it once, and that's 12 parts per trillion in water. We needed to also modify the limits for available cyanide and BTEX, which is benzene, ethylbenzene, toluene, and xylene. And those are based on Eagle's mandated limits, which were established in 2024. Eagle recommended we change the limits for hexane extractable materials, which are actually fats, oil, and greases, also known as FOG. And our limit was originally 500 milligrams per liter of parts per million, and we reduced that to 100 parts per million. This is what clogs up the sewers. So we were glad to do that.
Is there anything in here that would, is there anything, how do I word this? Is there anything in here that that will change anything with the residents on their day-to-day, as far as any, obviously this is wastewater, so they're not really considered drinking water, or anything like that. So is there anything in this, or is this just purely a reporting ordinance?
These are requirements that limit things you can put down your sewer, what you can flush down the toilet, what you can put down your sink, that kind of thing. Anything that would be introduced into sanitary sewer. So this also applies to industrial users and commercial users. And this fats, oil, and greases, the HEM, which is
So can I still dump my grease down the drain?
no.
No. Okay.
If it's over 100 parts per million, no. We would come and write you a violation and tell you to quit it, because that's what plugs up the sewers. You lift up the pump stations and all the other stuff. We're working really hard to try to corral that. We've started a intensive program to go back to the restaurants and say, look, you need to take care of this. So.
Do we have, other than, like, if something gets flushed down the drain from a restaurant or everything else, and it makes it all the way to the wastewater treatment, we have no way of tracking that per se, do we? How do we know that a restaurant is not in compliance unless there's a direct impact near that restaurant that they could possibly track?
Well, what we do with our fats, oil, and greases program, our FOG program, is every restaurant is required to have a grease trap.
Right.
separate the grease from, sanitary.
But do we?
We check those.
Do we check those? Do we have,
Yes.
they have to have annual reports that they submit? Or we only do it during inspections?
We've just enhanced this program. We used to have, I think, a 5-year rotating program. We try to check all of the restaurants in a 5-year period. And there's probably a couple hundred of restaurants or food processing places. So what we've just done is put together a program that we're gonna check all the restaurants, make sure that, if they don't have any grease or fatty discharges, then we don't have to worry about a grease trap. But if they do have cooking grease or even washing grease off of dishes, they have to have a grease trap. We would check